Good day to you. Yet another video. In this video, I want to talk to you, and this is a follow-on from the previous video, where we talked about the various belief systems that you took on about yourself. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about each belief system. Then I'm going to talk about what it is that you attract to yourself as a result of this tissue that has this attraction to you, and then what has it cost you. Okay, so all of this, so we start to develop a thorough understanding of each of these and how much it is that this is playing out in your life, what it is that you attract and what is it that you cost to you. And so you start to realize it becomes pretty urgent for you to dump these and to get rid of them. So in this section, we're going to look at these again and see how these events are attracted into our lives in various ways, as well as the related cost to you up to this point. This is normally a big aha moment, and how it all suddenly makes so much sense about how your life has operated. Okay, so the first belief is, why do people do this to other people? The attraction is, we know the perpetrator cannot go and establish this with a person the same age. They simply cannot do it. So they make this work in a way for the perpetrator. They like to control the situation and have control over people. Then they take advantage of a vulnerable small child. How have you attracted this control over you and given away your power? And how have people taken advantage of you over the years? The cost side is, what has the cost of all of this been to you in terms of your own happiness, being controlled, and people taking advantage of you and treating you like a doormat? And this is a big issue. Okay, you've been treated like a doormat, as if it is that you don't exist, or that you are not important. Is that because of how it is that you were subjected when you were small to this thing? Most of you were small when you were small, and this was subjected to you. How this played out, how it plays out in your life, that it is that other people can just impose these things on you. And it's like you feel that you've got no ability to say no or to say anything. Again, that's largely because you don't understand boundaries and you don't understand how to set boundaries. What often happens is that people put barriers in place, but we will discuss this more in videos to come. The next one I want to talk to you about is, why didn't somebody protect me? There was nobody, this is what you attract. There was nobody to protect you or to help you from preventing this happening to you. You were left on your own to fend for yourself and suffer the consequences. And why didn't anybody notice that you were so different after this event or events happened to you? Nobody cared enough to find out from you what was going on with you when this happened, and why all of a sudden are you withdrawing? Why are you clingy to some people, and why are you avoiding others? Obviously, nobody cares. This is what you take on. And it says, I cannot trust anyone to be there for me or to protect me. Who can I trust in the world? No one. And so you attract non-trusting relationships into your life. what is the cost of all this been to you in terms of trusting people and your romantic partner? Do you find that your romantic partner does not want to remain faithful even though you are? Do you find that you're always being fed lies and that you cannot depend on others? Do you find that the people cannot connect with you because you don't trust them and then they leave your space? Trust is a big thing that develops for everybody that has been sexually abused. Now, how do you naturally bypass that trust, and how do you develop trust with people? And that way it's actually easy, but it's an alien concept to you guys. Okay, when it is easy, it is that if I can develop a heart-to-heart connection with you, and in order for me to develop this heart-to-heart connection with you, it is that I need to have developed an understanding of me and my feelings. When I understand my feelings, then I'm able to express my feelings. When I can express my feelings to you, and you can express your feelings to me, then this naturally leads to me understanding you and your feelings, and you understand me and my feelings. And when there is an altercation of some sort, you are here, I am here, and it is, well, what can we do to meet each other in the middle somewhere where it is that you and your feelings are taken into account and me and my feelings are taken into account. And when that happens, then I feel heard, honored, and respected, and you feel heard, honored, and respected. And out of that process and further interaction on the heart-to-heart, a feeling of mutual trust starts to emerge more and more between us. Okay, but this all presupposes that it is that you understand you and your feelings, and you understand how to express your feelings, and that there's a willingness to do it. All of those are generally foreign concepts to the person that has been sexually abused. When this happens to me, it feels good on the body, but I know that it is not right and it should not happen. What do you attract to yourself? You attract situations where you encounter great pleasure, enjoyment, perhaps even sex or something else of the body, and then afterwards something goes wrong. Or the friendship you encountered, or the potential relationship that you thought might just develop into something, just seems to vanish into thin air. It just disappears. When this happens rather frequently, you tell yourself not to get lost in the feeling of it all as something negative is going to happen. You just watch and wait and see. You become cynical, and then it happens just like you expect. And you say to yourself, you see, it's true. Good things are not for me. And you attract this again and again into your life. And so what is the cost? So with all this happening to you, time and time again, when good things come your way, what do? You hold back and you look for the catch. Do you stop yourself from getting involved, or hold yourself back from fully committing to something? The cost is that you do not get fully involved and hold yourself back, and then you notice that many opportunities pass you by. What have all these lost opportunities cost you to date? And that's a big thing. Okay, and it's a huge thing. Many different negative things happen, and they happen to people, but it seems to happen to you more and more and more often. And it's a continual pattern that happens. And this is the thing for you to change. And you can change it within yourself because it is you are entitled to good things to happen to you. It is your fundamental right when it is that you came here on the planet. But when it is that you put these things, the tissues, into your energy field, that's what it is that you attract to you. So we've got to learn to let this thing go. Okay, on the thing. So the next one. When this is happening to me, it's all about them and what they want and nothing about me. What do you attract? You attract situations where people insist that their feelings and their demands, their desires are more important than you and your feelings. And on top of that, that you are also not equal to others in a relationship. You are secondary. You attract situations where it is you must swallow and accept bad treatment or ill consideration or things. Because somehow you are a second-class citizen and you have no rights. Somehow the boss or the partner or the family or somebody is always more important or superior to you. You must grovel and please. So what's the cost? What has been the cost of people mistreating you, treating you like a doormat? And while they are doing that, you say to them, don't worry about me. I'll clean for your shoes for you at the same time as that you are abusing me. You hope that if you please them or submit, then they will treat you as an equal. And then you don't have to grovel anymore. The key here is you hope. Hope doesn't ever change things. The only thing that changes, you have to change you. And once you change you, you will see things like this will change completely. But it depends on you. It doesn't depend on the people on the outside of you. You need to change you. And until you if you don't change you, the cost will keep repeating itself until you ultimately decide to change you. The next one is, when this is happening to me, I can't say please stop or no, or I don't want to do it. What do you attract to yourself? Do you find that you attract situations to you where it is that you cannot say no to, or that you will not tolerate it, or where people are trying to manipulate you or the situation around you, or you are fearful to say no because you fear the retaliatory confrontation? Do you fear that if you speak up in this situation, then you are going to upset people around you, or that you may hurt their feelings, or that you must protect them somehow from them and their feelings of being potentially hurt? Now you see, this thing has different kinds of twists to it all around a common point. Okay, one thing. What is the cost? The cost is how often has it been that people take advantage of you and you just keep quiet? How often has it been that you have done many things to help somebody in a difficult situation and you do for them and help them only to find out that they never ever thank you? It's like they just expect you to do this for them and to carry on doing it for them for no other reason than you just must do it. How often has it been that you take on the responsibility for others in a way so as to protect them from something that may hurt them, only to find in the end that they just walk all over you and ignore you? And so you see, this is what you attract to it, and this is what it ends up costing you. When you develop a different kind of ability to say no through boundaries, and boundaries is using your power in a constructive way. When you do that, you will find that people won't treat you like this. They will start to treat you with respect. That's the purpose of boundaries. When we get to boundaries, you will understand this a whole lot more. The next belief system is, I can't stop them. Then it is that, well, I must please them to get it all over with. So I become a pleaser. What do you attract? You continually attract situations to yourself where you feel that the only way to resolve or to avoid situations is that you must please them in some way. This is because of a fear of being exposed, or perhaps just to have some peace, or a fear of confrontation, or perhaps that others make or place demands on you that you cannot say no. So what's the cost? The cost is the more you do for others, the more they seem to expect from you, and the less and less is the recognition or the thankfulness or the gratitude that you get from them. You always seem to have to just pay and pay and give and give. Whether it's money or in kind, it does not matter. You must just pay. And you carry on, and you please, and you pay, and the more that you give and do, and you give 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 and you give, eventually you get gived out. That gived out results in a process called burn out, is where you give and give and give until you cannot give anymore. Burnout, that's what it is. The next belief system, I gave away my power to the perpetrator. What do you attract to yourself? You always seem to attract situations where other people seem to be more powerful and superior than you. You can make demands and get they can make demands and get what they want, but you cannot or are not allowed to. Somehow, to be recognized, you must work harder. You must do more. You must give more. You must try more. And you must love more. You've got to be the super somebody. You also attract situations where others and their desires, feelings, wants, needs, love, etc., etc., are all more important than yours. You are the last in the queue. You can never place yourself first, as this is deemed to be selfish, self-centered, egotistical, and on top of it all, if you do, nobody will like you or want to be with you, or simply will not accept you, or maybe not even love you. These are the issues that you attract to you. What's the cost? The cost is you eventually get to the stage where you are given out, as I described earlier on. You feel powerless, you feel exhausted, and you simply cannot give anymore. You are finished. This is often accompanied with a feeling of depression, okay, or just feeling depressed, or just feeling miserable and unhappy. Now you see, the key to this is that everybody on the planet is born when it is that you were born and when you were created. You were created the same and equal to everybody else on the planet. But when you give away your power to different people, okay, then it is you become less than. When you become less than, you have to compensate in some way, okay, in order for you to get whatever it is that you want. And when it is that you compensate, this is often where it is that you give and do and except all of the ways that you can just do for others out there. So the next one. If I cannot say no, then I must be worthless or not good enough or no good or even hopeless. What are the situations that you attract to yourself? You attract relationships, be it romantic, work-related, friends, family, where you are told that you are somehow pathetic, worthless, simply cannot give you anything to do on your own because you mess it up, or you're not worth the effort to spend time with. In fact, you are just a loser. You cannot take any form of responsibility. You get treated as if you don't exist. It's all about what they can get or want from you. And frankly, you don't matter. Their needs need to be settled first. Because you feel powerless, you are unable to stand up to a person or a superior in this regard. It makes you feel more and more worthless. What's the cost? Life is just one big struggle. You feel powerless to do anything about it, unable to do, and you feel that you never will get anywhere in life. In this kind of situation, the cost is huge. Okay, when you don't feel that you are worth it and that you are worthy, and everybody is worth it and everybody is worthy. It's how you see yourself, your tissue. This is what you need to change about you. And in future videos, we will do this. The idea is now is for you to understand, how does the attraction work? What is the cost? Okay, next belief system. Because I cannot say no, I'm not allowed to express my feelings. And so what do you attract? You attract situations where you simply don't or cannot express your feelings. You keep quiet. You rather back down. Others are more deserving than you, and you hold back. What is the cost? Because you don't express your feelings, everybody assumes that you are happy with the situation, as you do not complain or say anything to the contrary. It can also happen that the lack of expressing how you feel, the potential partners that you may meet simply move on, and you feel heartbroken or highly disappointed because the partner doesn't feel any connection to you. They need to feel the heart-to-heart connection between you and them. But when you have shut this down and you're operating from here, it's not a heartfelt connection. It is a head-to-head connection. It's like a computer talking to a computer connection. They think that and feel that you are not interested. This costs you in potential relationships being developed. The next one is that I live in my head. Okay, what do you attract? Because you live in your head and you do not respond from a feelings perspective, people deem you to be distant, cold, not interested, uncaring, and frankly, unemotional. You don't see it like that, but others experience you like that. This makes you feel all alone in the world. You think how you should feel, and this is feel in this or that type of situation. Your head tells you how you should feel about anything. Okay? In fact, you think that you are quite a caring and supportive person, and you do express your feelings. Others around you they feel the complete opposite because you live so in your head and not in your body that you don't allow yourself to feel. It's just easier and it does not involve any form of potential pain or pain. This is where you learn to analyze everything and anything everybody says or does. You are always looking for clues. When and how you can recognize when something like this could happen again. You learn to analyze everything down to the nth degree. What is the cost? The cost is you are often quite happy to be by yourself. People seem distant to you, or they just cut you off, resulting in you feeling alone in the world. You often end up alone and wonder what it is that you have done for people not to be part of your life, not realizing that it is you that is subconsciously pushing people away due to you not having an open heart-to-heart ability to be able to facilitate heart-to-heart relationships. It's very hard, very lonely, but it can change for you, and it's easy to change. The next belief system. Nobody will believe me if I tell them what I think or feel. What do you attract? You attract situations to you where you should tell or speak up about some or other situation or event, but you don't for fear of repercussion or confrontation. You often try to appeal to people's higher understanding in how they should interact with you or speak the truth of how it is. In that appealing, you keep quiet and you hoping that they will appeal to their higher understanding of things. This never ever works. This is where you believe that no matter what you say, nobody will believe you. The result is that you keep quiet and you learn not to say what you think or feel or tell the truth. You may, of course, hint at it, but people generally don't pick up on it. They don't understand what your hints are, particularly when it is that you are hinting with them um, to gain, or you're hinting to them for higher understanding, okay, on a thing. They simply haven't got it. So what's the cost? The cost is you always end up being overlooked, which results in others gaining advantage, or promotions, or recognitions, or whatever, etc., rather than you. It can also lead to people not trusting you because when you should have spoken up, you did not. The next one is people just want me for sex. Because you are powerless and you don't express yourself and you have difficulty in saying no and are quite desperate, perhaps even needy, to have a relationship, that you often fall into the trap. Well, if I have sex with them, then a relationship can begin. People feel this in you, and when they are interacting with you, they feel this neediness, and then they simply take advantage of you and your desperation. People will often just want to have sex with you and then move on. When this happens, you struggle to believe that people can be like that, not realizing it is you that is attracting this into your life. Powerless, needy people are always taken advantage of. So what's the cost? People become so-called friends or lead you on with a possible relationship with you, or they entice you to have sex with them. Victims often then fall into the trap that they begin to think that sex is love. And this is the furthest thing from the truth. The purpose of sex is to deepen the heart-to-heart connection between you and others. And this heart-to-heart connection is this feelings exchange that we have. It's not what is in your pants that can bring you love. That is impossible. Your cost is failed relationships or failed potential relationships. When this is happening to me, I don't want to be there, is the next issue. What do you attract? Now, this is a big one for you. For you discover that it is that you can be the observer and not fear anything negative happening to you, as you simply disassociate yourself out of your body and become an unfeeling person, or not be present. We call this mechanism, you become excarnate. You excarnate out of your body. Excarnate is the opposite of incarnate. You are not in your body. You have left your body. This excarnation process is usually triggered by confrontation, and so you often find yourself in confrontational situations. When this happens, you leave and then you become the observer of life up there, of the situation. And you do not participate. You choose to opt out in some way. When involved in sex, unless your partner is very caring and makes it safe for you and is highly supportive, you usually opt out of the body. And your partner has a very strange feeling while having sex with you. They feel that there is nobody at home and there is nobody there, and they're just interacting with a body. This is not a pleasant feeling and a pleasant situation, and leaves the partner with an empty feeling and the lack of connection with you. So what's the cost? Because your partner feels this lack of connection and emptiness after sex with you, they often leave the relationship. Your partner usually cannot put their finger on it as to why they want to move on, but they feel that something is not right. They often say that the spark just does not seem to be there with you. You interpret this as people just want me for sex, not realizing what is going on, what is actually going on, that you are not present there. This is the lack of connection. This lack of connection often fuels violence because your partner feels disconnected from you and now wants to blame you for that lack of connection. It is, after all your fault. So the next one is, whenever things go wrong, it is somehow my fault. What do you attract? Well, you just seem to continually attract situations to you where things seem to go wrong, or it is your fault somehow. You're always searching and double checking that you have done everything right. So there's very little chance that you did something wrong when things go wrong around you. This feeling of it being your fault is a very strong feeling, and this feeling controls you in many ways. What is the cost? The cost is there is a fear in you that if things go wrong and you cannot control it, then this job or this promotion or this opportunity is simply not for you. It just exposes you to too much potential for something to go wrong, and therefore you do not accept it. You hold yourself back. You don't put yourself out there. You hide away. You do not make that connection. You do not make the extra money. You do not get recognized. You do not get seen. Put it all together. This is a huge cost. The next one is I feel shameful about this event. On top of that, I also feel guilty, dirty, and there is something wrong with me. What do you attract? You often attract situations and opportunities to yourself where you can better yourself and your situation in life. But there is an inherent belief somewhere that you have something wrong with you, and that you could not possibly accept this new role. After all, you have something wrong with you. You are convinced that everybody can see it, that is, this thing that is wrong, on you, and it leads to a feeling of shame. Sexual abuse victims often combine this shame feeling, that is, there's something that's wrong with me, with guilt, as you must have done something wrong for the sexual abuse to have happened to you. The sexual abuse victim always subconsciously tries to prove that there's nothing wrong with them. They work harder and they try harder. They push more. They do more. But the more they try, the more they are suffering under all of the issues individually and collectively, especially so when they combine this with the feeling of being dirty or perhaps being cheap. You just cannot seem to get anything right that will last and be clean at the same time. So what's the cost? The burden of shame or guilt and being dirty is so big that you feel that you must put in superhuman effort just to be equal to others. Even though you're outshining your fellow colleagues, you still feel less than. It seems that you can never get off the treadmill, never mind having a successful, easygoing, fulfilling, loving relationship. After all, there is something wrong with me. That brings us to the end of the issues, the general issues, what you attract to yourself, and the cost of things to you. In the next video, we now go about cleaning these things from you. We go about you releasing this from you. It's a very empowering process, and it's something that you will truly benefit from. Thank you so much for working with me and going all the way through to the end of the video. It is very touching and it is very deep, and I understand. Thank you. Bye-bye.